The Minority Eye sat down with Columbia native Terrence Davis to talk about his journey from gangbanger to filmmaker. His new movie, Colors Bangin in South Carolina, is set to debut July 1st at the Manhattan Film Festival. The movie highlights the gang epidemic that plagued Columbia, South Carolina in the early 2000s. It took 6 years and over 100 arrests to end the gang violence that gripped the small southern capital city. Glad to have you here with me today, man.
Glad to be here.
So, tell us a little bit about you. Just came out with a film, and you're from South Carolina, and you went to film school. Now you're producing, I believe it's your second film.
Second film.
So, walk us through that process from gang member to film school to now being a director.
Well, it wasn't easy. When I grew up, I didn't grow up saying I wanted to be a director or even going to college. It just happened because when I was actually in the game, involved in the game, deep in the game, unlike a lot of people who try to do stuff for fads or phases or whatever, but for me, that's all I wanted to do. And at the time, I used to take pictures, video of us just hanging. This was before YouTube. This was before all this social media stuff. We just did it so when we, got high and stuff, we could just look back and say, look at us, acting silly or whatever. And as stuff started to get real, people started going to jail. Even myself, I started realizing like, yo, this is not going to work. So I decided to go to college. Still was getting in trouble in college. And I realized that the drug game was not what I thought it was. Obviously, a lot of people say that. But for me, being from where I'm from, money is different than it is in bigger cities. I'm from Columbia, South Carolina. The population is maybe 130,000. And at the time, I was making $1,000 a day. So for me, I thought I was rich. I mean, that might, for other people in bigger cities, that may mean that's no money. Because, in like New York, you can make $10,000 in one day. But to be from where I'm from, in the city where I'm from, you got $20,000, $30,000 cash. You the man. You know what I mean? And for me, that's the only life that I wanted to live.
Okay. So, at what age did you get involved with gangs?
When I was 13 years old.
Okay. And at what age did you say that this is not what I want to do with my life?
When I caught my last charge, which was a trafficking crack cocaine charge, which was in 2006. Okay.
How old were you then?
I was 20 years old.
So, give me a little bit of, tell me a little bit about your experience when you first got to film school. Is it, you're from South Carolina, tell me what that was like walking onto that college campus, realizing that you was about to embark on your dream.
First, I want to say this. It was beautiful. Number one, it was New York. Number two, I was the only black American in all of my classes when I was in film school. All of them. It was an African kid, and I only use that reference because he was black. But I was literally the only African American in all of my classes in the entire time that I was in film school.
So this is your second film, and what's the name of the film?
The name of this film is called Colors Bangin in South Carolina.
Okay. When can we, do you have a release date yet?
Well, right now we're going for the festivals, right? We're in the post-production process.
Okay.
Once we're done with that, we'll put it in some of these festivals, see what happens, and, hope we can make a lot of money. We'll see.
Okay. Now, your first film, and I believe you were able to secure a distribution deal with that one.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that film?
Well, South Carolina Drug Wars is the amateur's guide to making a documentary.
Okay.
I had no training. I pretty much had old footage, news footage that I actually used as a part of making PowerPoint presentations in college. And I started thinking like, okay, well these newscasts will look good next to the footage that I have. Just with me formerly being within the game. So I started doing research on, because I always wanted this too. Because at the time I think American Gangster was popular. And I always was wondering, like, yo, it gotta be big time guys from South Carolina. And it was. And that's what created South Carolina Drug Wars. I basically did a bio on all of the major drug dealers in the history of South Carolina, and I made South Carolina Drug Wars, and that's that.
If somebody wanted to get in contact with you or find out some more information, they may be interested in having you come speak, how would they get in contact with you?
Well, you can follow me on Twitter for starters, twitter.com/TerryDavisFilms or facebook.com/TerryDavisFlick. Mostly, I like people to engage me on my YouTube though. If you go to YouTube, you type in South Carolina Games, you type in Colors Bangin, South Carolina. Any of those two things, South Carolina Drug Wars, you will find me. You will find plenty of my videos. You can go on my channel, whatever. Send me comments, email me, whatever.
What's your email?
TerryDavisFilms@gmail.com.
All right. Well, thanks for taking the time to sit down with us.
All right.